All right, we're on page 385 in our books, okay? And we're going to be classifying quadrilaterals. Now, how do we know by looking at the word if something is a quadrilateral, Delilah?
Because in Latin, quator means four. Because
you know your Latin. In Latin, quator means four. This really comes from Greek, but they sound kind of the same. So, quadrilateral has four sides. And lateral, you remember, means side. So, four sides. Okay? Alright, now, so we've got quadrilaterals. And remember, what does it mean to classify? What does it mean to classify things? What does it mean to classify things, Melissa?
Put them into a group.
Put them into groups. So, we're going to take our quadrilaterals. Don't write this down, just look at me. Look at what I'm writing on the board. Quadrilaterals. And a quadrilateral can be any four-sided figure. Okay? So, I'm put a line here. Okay? Because I'm connecting this to types of quadrilaterals. Alright? I'm going to put... Now, is this a regular polygon or irregular? What is it? It's not regular. It's not a regular polygon, but it is a quadrilateral. So this is a not regular quadrilateral. We're just going to call it a general quadrilateral, like it does in the book. All right. But then we have another kind. All right. And this is one you need to remember. Okay. This quadrilateral, do you see any line relationships in this quadrilateral? Do you see any perpendicular lines? You don't see any perpendicular lines. You see intersecting line segments here. You see that. Okay. But what else do you see? What else do you see, Anna Grace? You see parallel lines. Now, parallel lines always come in pairs. It's always got to be two, right? It's always got to be two. But how many pairs of parallel lines do you see? How many pairs of parallel lines do we see, Owen? We see only one pair of parallel lines. So there's one pair of parallel lines. We call that a trapezoid. Trapezoid. Alright, so quadrilateral with one pair of parallel lines. Go ahead, listen. Get a few. Okay. Quadrilateral, one pair of parallel lines, only one, is a trapezoid. Okay? Think the parallel lines for the trapezoid. Okay? Now, then we have another kind. Okay? We have another kind called alright, here. Alright. Now, pretend I drew this really well. Pretend I drew this really well and tell me in this quadrilateral how many pairs of parallel lines do you see, Kate?
Two.
You see two pairs of parallel lines. The top and the bottom are parallel, and the left and the right are parallel. Question about quadrilaterals? Yes?
Can you please write general?
I can. I sure can. General. Okay. But really we call those not regular. That's really what we need to call those. Okay. So, we got our parallelogram. Alright? Now, this is a parallelogram, but then there are other parallelograms too. Okay, so you can kind of think, it's got parallel in the name, it's also got pair and parallel, so it's got two pairs of parallel lines in it. Alright, the trapezoid has one pair of parallel lines, and the parallelogram has two pairs of parallel lines in it. Alright, shapes are getting a lot more complicated than we thought. aren't they? Right? It used to just be squares and circles and rectangles. Now it's getting a little more complicated, but y'all can get this. Y'all got this. Now, we have different kinds of parallelograms. All right? I could have one like this. Let's say here, try to get this just right. Okay? I could have a rhombus. That's a fun word. It's my favorite. That's my favorite of these quadrilaterals. Okay? Alright, this is a kind of parallelogram, right? Why is it a kind of parallelogram? Why is it a type of parallelogram? Okay, Lucy? It has two pairs of parallel sides. But this one is unique, and if I drew it right, it would be. But it's got all equal sides. All the sides are the same length. Okay? All the sides are the same length. So that is a type of parallelogram. That is a rhombus. Okay? Now, we have another kind of parallelogram. Okay? And this one is called, you all know the name of this one. This one is called a rectangle. Okay? This one was called a rectangle. And in a rectangle, right, you not only have two pairs of parallel sides, which make it a parallelogram. Okay? It is a kind of parallelogram. But you also have, what about all your angles? What is true of all the angles? Let us think on that for a little bit. What is true of all the angles in a rectangle? All four angles. We know it's a parallelogram. But what is true of this? Not a rhombus because the sides are not equal length. But there's something about those angles. There's just something about those rectangles. Hint.
They all have right angles.
They're all right angles. All of them are right angles. So you got the R in rectangle. You can think right angle. When you look at that, they've all got right angles. Now, check this out. If I have two pairs of parallel sides, I have a parallelogram. If I have two pairs of parallel sides and all my sides are the same length, I have a rhombus. If I have two pairs of parallel sides and I have all right angles, I have a rectangle. But what if I put all those things together? When I put all those things together, that doesn't look good. Let me redo that. That's not pretty. Trying to get this right. Alright, we might have to pretend a little bit. I put all those things together. I have everyone? Square. Now, you've been looking at this since kindergarten, maybe even before, and saying, oh, that's a square, of course. But now you know why it's a square. Now, there's a reason it's a square. Not just because everybody looks at it and says that. There's a reason it's a square. It's a square because it's got two pairs of parallel sides. It's got four right angles. All the sides are the same length. That's why it's called a square. And when you're in 10th grade taking geometry, you'll have to be able to prove that that's a square. You can't just say, well, just look at it. No, you can't do that. Okay? We're not going to make you do that now. but you need to recognize all the different names for these things. Okay? So you could I call this a parallelogram?
Yeah, that's
I could call it a parallelogram. It's got 2 pairs of parallel sides. Could I call this a rectangle?
Yes.
I could. It's a rectangle. It's got 4 right angles. Okay? Could I call this a rhombus?
Yes.
Yes. All the sides are the same length. Okay? Could I call it a square?
Yes.
Could I call this a quadrilateral?
Yes.
Yeah. Could I call it a trapezoid?
No.
No, because a trapezoid only has one. It only has 1 pair of parallel sides. Okay? But everything else, I could call this all those things. Mm-hmm.
Can I take some notes on this?
You can always refer back to this page. You can always read back to this page to help you out. Yes.
So basically, a square has a family tree. If you remember that family tree, you can prove in 10th grade how all of this happened to make a square.
Yeah, and then once you do that, they'll give you like the really hard things to do. So yeah, they'll probably start with something like that. Lucy, is this about a question about this? Okay, then you can tell me later. Okay. All right. So let's see how you do. Let's see how you do on your whiteboards. Number 2. Give me all the names on page 385. Give me all the names for number 2. You could write quadrilateral, parallelogram, rhombus, rectangle, square, trapezoid. Write all the things you could call that. Number 2, yes.
Can you call it irregular if it is irregular?
Let's just we'll ignore this one, okay? If it's a quadrilateral, you can call it a quadrilateral. If it's a trapezoid, you can call it a trapezoid. Okay. Just call it the things that it's called. Mm-hmm. Yeah, don't put that one. That's why I didn't even want to put that up there. But yeah, we won't worry about that. That's just an irregular quadrilateral. When we have irregular quadrilaterals, we don't want those. We don't want them irregular. Yes.
Can you do not regular?
What now?
Not regular.
Don't worry about the not regular part. Just put, those are your options that are written there. Quadrilateral, parallelogram, rhombus, rectangle, square, trapezoid. Yes?
Would you like to use the geoboards if you didn't have to?
We don't have any geoboards, so I'm afraid not. Yes?
We can borrow some from Mrs. Y. She has some.
That's alright. We don't have a lot of time, but thank you. Question?
Can you give her a jacket?
Good. Alright, whatever you wrote, let me see it. Whatever you wrote, let me see it. Alright? Alright. Let's take a look at this. Okay, you can put your boards down on your desk. Just have them facing up where you can see them. Alright. Are all the sides the same length?
No.
Okay, so we know it's neither one of these. Not a square or a rhombus. Okay, because not all sides are the same length. Does it have all right angles?
No.
So we know it's not a rectangle. Does it have 2 pairs of parallel sides?
Yes. No.
2 pairs of parallel sides?
No.
No. No, those are not parallel. Parallel means they stay the same distance apart. Okay? Does it have 1 pair of parallel sides?
No.
No. So there's only one word that can describe this shape on number 2, and it's quadrilateral.